I always like to serve this recipe at dinner parties or to kids and have them guess the main ingredient, and often people have a hard time knowing that it's avocado. It becomes so creamy and mousse-like. It's delicious. Hello, today we're here to make another recipe for Cooking with the Kitchenistas. My name is Ellyse and I'm a staff member and a Kitchenista. The recipe we're gonna be making today is chocolate avocado mousse. And the reason I love this so much is because it has a delicious hidden ingredient, which is the avocados. And it's great for kids, adults, anybody, and they won't even know it's avocados. It's so delicious. So I'm gonna teach you how to make it. It's very simple. Only has a few ingredients. You do need a food processor or a blender, but otherwise all the ingredients are pretty readily available. So we're gonna start with dates. So here I have some pitted dates. They're deglet dates. You can get any type of dates you want. I would just say, if they say pitted, just make sure there's no pit in the middle. We're gonna measure a half a cup of pitted dates, a little over. You're gonna get like 10 or 12 dates in there. We're gonna put them into a bowl and we're gonna cover them with boiling water. And the reason we're doing this is just to soften them up so they are very easily blended in the food processor. While our dates are sitting in the water to get soft, we'll prep all the other ingredients. And then there's only a few other ingredients. We have our avocados. We're gonna add maple syrup, and I would say the maple syrup is important, but you really wanna find pure maple syrup. The maple syrup on the shelves is typically just corn syrup. So pure maple syrup, it can be a little bit pricey, but once you buy a big bottle, it can last for a really long time and you can use it in lots of different recipes. We're also gonna use some vanilla extract. We have some flaky sea salt. You can use any type of salt you have at home. And we're gonna use cacao powder. The difference between cocoa powder and cacao powder is that cacao powder has not been sweetened. So it's just the crushed up form of the cacao pod. And so it does have a more bitter flavor, but with all of our other sweet ingredients, it's delicious. So to prep our avocados, you really wanna make sure they're pretty soft. So this is a great recipe for if you have the avocados have been sitting for a little while, or if they're about to go by, you can use them for this recipe. So first, I'm just gonna slice the avocado and I'm gonna move it around the cutting board like so, instead of slicing it in my hand, because that's where accidents happen. We're gonna take out the pit. Ooh, this one's really stuck in there. So we're gonna do that with all of these avocados. The recipe calls for 3 avocados or about 1.5 cups. And since these are pretty small avocados, we're gonna use 4. I'm just using my knife. I'm carefully putting the knife into the pit and then just twisting. And then to get it off, I just take it off the knife. You can also, if you don't feel comfortable doing that, you can scoop out the pit. So we have all of our avocados prepped without their pits. And I do want to put the dates in first because they're gonna be the most gummy. We wanna get them in first. So once they're nice and soft, I'm gonna drain them and then add them to the blender or the food processor. So the first thing goes in is our pitted dates. I'm gonna do 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And then next we're gonna add our maple syrup so that we can blend it into a nice paste. And that's why you need the sweetened cacao powder, because we have all the dates are very sweet. Our maple syrup is very sweet. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this on and blend it to a nice paste. You can scrape down the sides and then you're gonna blend it again. You just wanna make sure it forms into like a pretty nice, so that there's not a whole lot of chunks in there. Okay, so we have our nice date paste in here and we're gonna add just the last few ingredients. So we're gonna add our avocados. So you can just go ahead and scoop your avocados right into the blender bowl. You don't even have to cut them first. You can just pop them right in here. Like I said, these ones are pretty small, but you're looking for at least 1.5 cups. Another thing you could substitute for the avocado, if you're looking for a little bit more protein, is tofu. And I would recommend using a silken tofu. So silken tofu can be found in the non-refrigerated aisle of most stores, but it will say silken on the box. It's just a different consistency, great for desserts. We're gonna add 3/4 of a cup of our cacao powder. And I'm just gonna add a pinch or so. I would say a little less than a teaspoon, maybe a half teaspoon of our sea salt flakes. The salt in this recipe really brings out the sweetness. And then we're just gonna blend. It is very thick, and so our last ingredient is gonna be adding a little water to thin it out, but we're just gonna get most of it blended up in there. I'm gonna start with a 1/4 cup and see what it looks like. It's looking great. We do want it very smooth, so we're gonna let it run a little bit longer. You can really smell the chocolate flavor. A little bit more water. See on the sides here, there's some darker bits. And we want to get everything really incorporated. A little bit longer. Okay, and we'll add the rest of the water. Okay, so this is the consistency we're looking for. Really smooth, really pudding-like, very airy. So you want to make sure it's really not moving in there. It's pretty thick. So it's as simple as that, putting a few ingredients in a blender and we're gonna plate it up. This is a delicious way to serve a hidden veggie in your dessert. This is a great after-school snack for your littles. It has lots of good fats in it. The avocado is good brain food. Good fats in there. This recipe was adapted by Jennifer Kornbleet, and we've used it often at Olivewood Gardens. Okay, so I'm gonna try this delicious recipe here. You can serve it right away just like this, or you can put it in the fridge and have it chill for a little while, but I can't wait, so I'm gonna try it right now with these yummy strawberries from the garden. It's so delicious. It tastes like chocolate pudding. You honestly can't taste the avocado in there. I love this recipe so much. So easy, so kid-friendly, and it's actually like very, very delicious. If you want to watch more of our videos, you can find us on Cooking with the Kitchenistas, and you can subscribe, like, and comment on these videos, and we'd love to know your thoughts.